Welcome to today's deep dive.
It's great to be here.
We've got some really interesting stuff to look at today.
Oh, yeah.
Our listeners sent in some excerpts from Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now.
Oh, interesting.
And it seems like they're really fascinated by this whole idea of being present, living in the moment.
Yeah, I can see why. The Power of Now is kind of a modern classic.
It is, and for good reason, I think.
It really delves into some deep concepts about the way our minds work
Exactly, and how we can find peace.
by shifting our focus.
So it's about more than just, stopping to smell the roses.
Right.
There's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, absolutely. Tolle is really getting at something much deeper.
Yeah.
He argues that a lot of our suffering
Okay.
actually comes from dwelling on the past or constantly worrying about the future.
That makes sense.
We get so caught up in our thoughts that we completely miss out on what's happening right now.
That's so true. I know I do that all the time. It's like
Mhm.
I'm either replaying something that already happened or I'm freaking out about what might happen.
And while you're doing all that, life is just passing you by.
Exactly. So how do we actually change that? I mean, the excerpts you're looking at, do they offer any practical advice on how to shift that focus?
They do. One of the things that Tolle really emphasizes
Yeah.
is the idea that we are not our thoughts.
Wait, hold on. We're not our thoughts. That's a pretty radical concept, is it? What does that even mean?
Well, think about it this way. How often are you just completely lost in that stream of mental chatter?
Oh, all the time.
Judging yourself, rehashing old arguments, worrying about stuff that you have absolutely no control over.
Yep, that's me.
Tolle's saying that we can actually step back from all that noise.
Okay.
We can observe our thoughts without getting completely swept away by them.
So it's like creating some space between ourselves and that voice in our head.
Exactly. And that space, that's where the power of the present moment really lies.
I see. It's about recognizing that we have a choice. We could either get totally caught up in those thoughts, or we can just observe them and choose to focus on what's actually happening around us.
Right.
Okay, this is starting to make sense. But how do we actually do that? The excerpts, do they talk about any specific techniques?
They do. Things like mindfulness and meditation
Yeah.
really help train the mind to come back to the present moment.
I've always thought about meditation, but it always seemed a bit, intimidating.
Yeah.
Like you need special training or something.
It can seem that way, but honestly, it doesn't have to be complicated at all.
Really?
Even just simple things like paying attention to your breath, noticing the sensations in your body,
Yep.
or really savoring each bite of your food, that can be a form of mindfulness.
You know what? That's a great point. I am so guilty of rushing through meals, like not even tasting my food.
Oh, yeah, I do that too.
My mind's off somewhere else. I'm already thinking about what's next on my to-do list,
It's so easy to fall into that pattern of just going through the motions.
It is.
But imagine how much richer life could be if we actually slowed down enough to truly experience those simple everyday moments.
Yeah,
Totally suggesting that being present isn't just about feeling calmer.
right.
It's about accessing a deeper level of joy and connection with the world around us.
So we're not just talking about, stress reduction here. It sounds like it's a much more fundamental shift in how we experience life.
Absolutely. It's about moving from a state of constant doing to a state of simply being.
Wow. This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
It's powerful stuff, isn't it?
I'm really starting to see how powerful this idea of embracing the present moment can be.
It's a journey, for sure.
Yeah,
But these excerpts are a great starting point.
they are.
Maybe start by noticing when your mind drifts off to the past or the future,
Okay.
and then gently guiding it back to the present moment. Remember, you have the power to choose where you focus your attention.
I love that. So here's one question for you to consider. What's one thing you can do today to be a little bit more present?
Mm,
It doesn't have to be anything big.
right.
It could be as simple as taking a few conscious breaths, really listening to a friend, or just appreciating the beauty of your surroundings.
That's a great place to start.
This deep dive is just the beginning. Your own exploration of the power of now awaits.
Enjoy the journey.
And we'll see you next time.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.